Hey everybody, Jeff aka Gcurse here. I hope you're all having a great day. It is currently 9:56 a.m. on the 27th of April 2025. I've just about had it with today, and it's not even day like the midday yet. Oh my god, it's been one of those days. You're probably wondering, hey Jeff, where's like the graphic and everything? Uh, yeah, that's something I thought I would share. I don't know what happened to them. Apparently somehow, like, if you're curious, this is the conclusion of Sunday morning retro Tetris. I normally I have like nice little pictures and everything. I don't know what the hell happened. Literally, I went to get on OBS today to start recording, and it said that I needed to locate the pictures. I'm thinking, oh, that's weird, you know. So maybe I thought maybe there was like an update to OBS that I wasn't aware of. So I looked and I looked and I looked and I could not find the assets, I guess you could call them. I they're just not they're gone. They're like literally gone. I don't even know what the fuck happened to them. I have two built-in hard drives on my computer, and then I have a portable hard drive. I checked all three hard drives; they're not there. So I'm not sure what happened. The only thing I could think was over the last few days to make up room and everything, I was moving files I no longer need to my portable hard drive. And maybe I may have moved it or thought I moved it and deleted it because over this last week, I've been tired from work and everything. So I was tired. And when I was doing this, what I have been doing, because I have a lot of files I was moving, I would like just get like select multiple files at once, initiate the move. Then I go take a shower, and by the time I get done, it'd be almost done moving and everything. So that's what I think I could have done. I thought maybe I may have moved the files, and then when I thought that the files were moved, I deleted them without realizing I actually did not delete them. But yeah, it's a little disheartening, I guess you could say, because of the fact that it takes a couple hours to get all those assets ready and everything. It isn't just like boom, 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 like in 2 or 3 minutes. No, this takes time to get the right graphics, to get the right fonts and all that stuff. It takes time, and I'll admit I was a little bit bummed. I was a little bit bummed, but yeah. So that's why you see the black screen, because I'll be honest. I just feel like I had it punched out of me to continue, but I would like to get this done. So I was just like, you know what, let's just finish this. I've been kind of procrastinating a little bit because I had spring break over the last couple weeks ago, and then I had other stuff going on. It's just I did not have a chance to get this part done, So, but yeah. So let's switch over. But let's switch over. Well, before that, actually, let's. Okay, it is currently 50 degrees here. Let's do this. I got done with laundry about 30 minutes ago, so I'm just, like I said, I got on my computer because I was, working on laundry and everything was gone. And like I said, it just feels kind of like a gut punch. It feels like a gut punch. Like, oh man, like see here. It is currently 50, feels like 54. Today it's supposed to be mainly cloudy with a high of 61. Tonight it's partly cloudy, low 47. Rain is supposed to be returning late tomorrow night. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't want rain, but I'll just believe it when I see it. Because lately they'll say we'll have rain, we don't have rain, and they say we're supposed to have a nice clear day, and then we have rain. So you can't really trust what the weather guys always say. It looks like for the majority of the day, it's supposed to be just cloudy. Today, mainly cloudy, partly cloudy tonight, cloudy with a shower in the PM. And then looking forward, it looks like we may have a shower on Tuesday. And then looks like a little bit of rain in the PM on Friday. So it's going to be off and on, but like I said before in my Doom Eternal playthrough, I think we're just hitting that time of the year where the wet days are going to be significantly less compared to the nice sunny days. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's do this. Yeah, but like I said, I'm a little, I'm just bummed, you know, like, I don't know, you know, like I said, the only thing I could figure is maybe I, it could be just that I was tired when I was moving those files, and I thought I moved the file that I was, you know, I thought I moved the file, and then I went to delete it. That's what happens when you work and you know, you're working on a project or whatever, or you come home to do something and you're extremely tired. You just got to be extra careful. That, if anything, that is a cautionary tale to be extra careful, you know. So let me get this turned on. So as you know, I am playing Tetris. Okay. Let me get my headphones on. Over to my computer audio. Boom. So last time I played, if I remember correctly, it was the B mode, and it was levels 0 through 9. This time around, I'm just going to play the A mode, which is like, I think A is just like continuous, basically. So this video here you're watching, it's probably not going to be that long. I'm just, because since it's continuous, I don't think it actually ends. So, you know, I figure I'll play it for a little bit and that will be it, you know. Okay, so Tetris. But yeah, you know, like I said, if I seem a little bit down, that's why. It's just I'm just I hate making stupid mistakes like that. Okay, press start. Start. Okay, there we go. So A, we're gonna turn off music. Just okay, we're gonna start at level 0. And like I said, I think this just continuously goes. So, you know, if when I fail, I may do it again, but I'm not gonna play like 2 or 3 hours worth, you know, or 2 hours since we're already at 10. So let's start. But yeah, but I hope over the last few weeks since you last saw Sunday Morning Retro, I hope that your time is going good. And before you ask, I'm just gonna leave the little window that says next. I'm just gonna leave it on because I just, like I said, I'm just kind of bummed and I'm out of it, and I just. Yeah, but I spent the last like 10 plus minutes trying to figure out where those files went. You know, I'm thinking, oh, it's probably on the secondary drive on the inside of my computer. And nope, it wasn't there. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I moved it with a batch of recent videos that I did. And nope, was not there either. And I'm like, that's when it dawned on me, like, ah, oh, crap. Uh, yeah. Wait, hold on. Can I? Well, they're not going to give me a straight line at all. No straight pieces. Are you looking at this? Okay, well, we'll just do this. Bam. Oh, now I get the straight piece. Well, it'll still help. It'll still help. And I think once you hit like 10 lines, every 10 lines you move up one level. So when I get 3 more lines down, it should. Well, You know, I was halfway expecting them to just start shitting out a whole bunch of straight pieces now that I've really fucked up. And there's that straight piece I told you about. See, there it goes. I tell you, I remember watching my mom on like a Saturday night. I'd be laying on my bed in my bedroom, and my mom would be sitting on the floor next to my bed, and she would be playing Tetris. And I would actually fall asleep watching her play this game. Not because the game was boring or anything, it's just that she'd play for so long that night that I would actually just kind of tire out and go to sleep. Well, if I can get a straight piece, I can clear some of this up. Yes, thank you. And I just went up to level, what level? 2, level 2. Yeah, well, the straight line will go good right here. But yeah, I just, like I said, the main reason I'm kind of playing this game, besides I like Tetris, is because this is the game my mom played. It just helps me kind of, it's a fond memory, I guess you could really say. If there is a lesson to be taught here about me accidentally deleting my stuff, it's make sure you're fully awake and not tired. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it was my fault. It's just I should have been more careful. Like I said, I just, you know, last few weeks have been tiring when I get home from work, and I just wanted to move some items from one drive to the next. And I wasn't careful enough. That's basically what it equals out to. If you hear alarms or sirens in the background, it sounds like fire trucks are going to be driving past my apartment. That's the downside about living so close to a fire department. It's nice because they're so close if you need them, but it's like, oh my god, like 99% of the time you always hear them when they, you know, they get like an emergency. We have made it to level 3, ladies and gentlemen. Move this. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Okay, let's start building up those walls again to make another 5. Let's put one here. Here. Oh boy. Let's put this here. Oh, geez. Okay, well, let's... Oh, we'll have to clear that up. Thing is, you don't realize because you're playing the game, but you don't realize like how quickly you move up in levels and everything. And according to the stats so far, I've done 41 lines, which is kind of cool. The key is not to lose your cool when you play this game. If you start panicking, that's when the game really gets a hold of you. You know, even when you start panicking, just try to do the best you can. It isn't like you're gonna be. This isn't like a life or death game. You know, it is not life or death at all. And I'll be honest, that's kind of like the mentality I had when I was a young adult, like, or I don't even say young adult because it was like I was in my 20s at the time. When I used to play like Call of Duty online all the time, I would get beat by better players, you know, and I would go fucking ape shit crazy, you know, and I would be the type of person that would throw my controller and get upset, you know, and like ultimately it took quite a long time, but my mom, she always had like the thing of like getting upset's not going to help anybody. You know, it's not. Do I think anybody's going to who I was playing against is going to give you, going to care that I got upset? No, they don't even fucking know I existed. You know, so I'd be getting upset over nothing. You know, and it took quite a long time to kind of realize that. And even if I get upset now, what I basically like to do if I get upset, it's not like I'm paying like an hourly fee to play this game. If I get upset, just turn the game off, walk away, come back when you're in a better mindset, You cannot let the game, control you like that because if you get upset and everything and you're playing a game, are you really having fun anymore? And I don't think you would be if you're, getting upset and you're playing a game. Games are, my opinion, games are meant to be kind of kind of kind of relaxing and everything. And if you're getting upset and you're screaming and you're throwing your controller, are you really having that much fun? Okay, as you can see here, the blocks are definitely starting to come down a little bit faster. And we have hit level 6, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit level 6. Okay, so let's put that in. I'm wondering if you hit after, because I can't recall what happens after you get past. Does this game actually go to like level 10? Because it looks like level 9 was the highest you can go on the select screen. So I'm wondering, does the game actually stop if you hit level, like get past level 9? Like. Okay, now all I need, I guess this will do. I was just about to say I need a straight piece, and then it gives me the straight piece. I swear, sometimes this game is self-aware. I swear to God, sometimes this game is self-aware. No, like right here, this would be a good time to get like a straight piece. Am I gonna get a straight piece now? I'll make you a bet I won't. I'll make you a bet it's gonna be a while. And then I'll have to do something like this, and then all of a sudden it will spit out a straight piece. I'll make you a bet. And of course, the game is going to make me into a liar. There it is. There's a freaking straight piece. Oh God, it's really coming down now. Hold on. Ah. Ah, crap. Well, I'm shocked I made it this far, to be honest. I'm not gonna be upset when I lose this game. I feel like this is a game that you cannot actually win. I don't know if there's actually an ending to it, but I don't think this game has an ending. At least in A mode. Oh my god, there is a 10th level. Oh my god, so it does go forever. Oh jeez. Okay, I can do this. So I made it as far as, I didn't think I'd make it this far. So when I fail, ultimately I will. But when it is game over, I think that will be it because I've made it, past level 9. So like, crap. Hold on, jeez. God. There. Hold on, let's do here. Ah, crap. Yep, there it goes. Oh, crap. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'll just have to start working up from here. Okay. And... ah, crap. Well, I made it to level 11. I made it to level 11, ladies. Whoa, oh my god, there's one of these things. Oh my god, it's a rocket. Oh my god, I didn't know that they had these little scenes on A mode. They had it in B mode. Did not know they had it in A mode. And I got to level 11. Oh yeah. Congratulations, you are a Tetris master. Okay, let's... So even though this, this was a little bit more of a downer for me because of me stupidly deleting the assets I used for my video here, because I deleted it. I was, like I said, it was a little bit of a downer, but at least I was able to do something I never did before. I always kind of looked at here. Can I back out of this? I always kind of I kind of always looked at level 9 of Tetris A mode as like the insurmountable monster, because I always, like I said, I watched my mom play, and you see that like 9 is the last number. So I figure like 9 is the fastest, and by the way, that's just the demo playing. Let me actually mute it. I always kind of viewed level 9 to be like the insurmountable monster, because it's like the It's like the fastest. I thought it was the fastest until I hit level 10, you know. But I'm glad to know that there are other levels. I'm wondering, like, how many levels are there? Let's see here. I'm probably making a bet it's like 99 levels, but it never hurts to see here. See here. Here. Okay. How many levels in NES Tetris? Tetris NESP. Let's say here. Let's see here. Let me actually do this. Okay, so see, Tetris is an NES game, 1989. Unlike Tetris Tension, this game has no two-player mode. I think this would have been really fun if it had two-player mode. Let's see here. Hold on. Levels. Faster levels. What would actually say? Okay, it looks like. Well, there it says that it looks like there's more than 19 plus levels. I'd like to know exactly how, or grid cell. Oh, this is the PAL release. Apparently, well, there's more than 29 in this version, but that doesn't answer my question. Like, how many levels are there in Tetris? How many levels are there in Tetris? Okay, let's try this. Okay, yeah, I don't want, I'm not sure what that is, so I'm not going to try that. Listen by points. Okay, oh, there it goes. So, okay, it looks like there may only be 29 levels. Okay, let's try this. How many levels? Many levels Tetris A mode. Number of levels in Tetris depends on the version of the mode. Marathon mode has 16 levels. I don't, this isn't the Tetris that I'm talking about. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. For the NES. Okay, 29 levels. So in the NES version of Tetris, there are 29 levels in the A-type mode. The level advance by one for every 10 lines. However, in the Game Boy version, the highest level is 20. Huh. I'm wondering how far my mom made it. Because like I said, there would be times that I fell asleep when she was playing this, you know, so I don't know exactly how many she made it, but at least from here, we can see there are 29 levels. That answers my question. That answers my question. Okay. Okay, so let's switch back to this. So ultimately, I'm done. I made it past my goal. My goal was to hit, get at least to level 9 because I thought maybe level 9 was like the final level, but not only did I make it to level 9, I got past level 9. So I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Oh, there you go. I'm happy with that. But with that said, it is the end, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end. I kind of figured this was going to be a little bit of a a quicker video, And because of that, here, how do I? Okay, well, I didn't want to just close. I was hoping to just get back to the games. Let's see here. That means we're going to have to find a new game to play for next Sunday morning retro. And there are so many good games. There are so many good games. Okay, it's okay. Let's actually turn on the game audio now. There we go. There are a lot of good games. That's one thing I love about the NES. There was so many good games. It's sad that you would think that, if they were released if like back in the 80s, that if they released a game on the NES, that Nintendo must have had some sort of like a clause in their contract or whatever that could say that they could possibly somehow use some of the games that were released back then. Like, let's sort of say, for example, like Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. My mom loved Crazy Castle. You're telling me that they could not possibly talk to WB just to get permission to use their old NES game? I would love to see Crazy Castle on this. I think that would be a hit on this game, on this platform. Ooh, Fire and Ice. What is Fire and Ice? Hold on. Let's see here. Fire and Ice. This was released by Koei Tecmo Games. This was released in 19. This was near the end of the NES. Long ago, when the wizard Dana was just getting his start, flames arose, threatening the icy, cool mist island. As Dana, you have been chosen by the queen of the winter fairies to bear the power of ice magic. With it, you must defend your home, Cool Mist Island. It actually sounds like, Cool Mist Island. Cool Mist Island. It even sounds more like a toothpaste now. From the wicked wizard of Druldal and his flames. Flames can be extinguished by hitting them with ice and clearing all the flames fleets around. But that's just the beginning of your adventure. For even more, check out the in-game edit mode where you can create your own puzzles. Okay, so this is a puzzle game. Hey guys, how about we take a look? Let's look up some videos of some of these games I could play. Let's see here. Let's go back to YouTube. Well, let's go to YouTube, I should say. Come. Would you risk running for $500,000? Make it $501,000 and you got a deal. Anyway. Fire and Ice NES gameplay. Let's try trailer. There may be a trailer. Fire and Ice Switch OLED. Character animation had Fire and Ice. Let's see. Fire and Ice. NES gaming said no one played Fire and Ice. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, hold on. Let me turn on the audio. Okay, we're going to watch this video. It is done by Big Old Words, and it was 2 years ago. Hold on, let me get this on my main monitor so I can actually. Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Fire and Ice, or Fire Nice for short, is a puzzle game released by Tecmo in 1993. The cartridge artwork is nothing too wild, just a bunch of ice cubes and flames, but the box art really ups the ante with this hilarious warning on the front. This cartridge contains logic puzzles that may be highly addictive. Caution and restraint are recommended. My favorite thing about that.
Okay, well, before I continue on, I gotta get my nasal spray. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, so let's do this.
That sentence are the words may be. Like, the whole point of this is to lure you in with the too hot for TV style approach that was all over 90s advertising back in the day. But then they tossed in those two words like, I mean, maybe it's addictive. Kinda, right? We don't want to sound like we're overselling it here. You wouldn't know it by anything in the layout here, but Fire and Ice is actually a sequel to Solomon's Key.
No, isn't Solomon's Key, if I remember correctly, no, I don't think it is because it has the Nintendo seal. I thought Solomon's Key was like one of those bootleg, like those religious games that came out during the NES time frame, yeah.
another puzzle title released by Tecmo 6 years earlier, which is practically an eternity in console years. Fire and Ice was actually known as Solomon's Key 2 in Japan and PAL regions, but I guess they decided the North American audiences wanted things taken up a notch. If you've never played Solomon, it's a puzzle platformer where the main mechanic is to create and disappear blocks in order to crush enemies and reach items and whatnot. Oddly enough, you do not play as Solomon, but rather the wizard Dana, who strikes an imposing figure with his pink and green eyes.
Okay, Dana was one of the people that I read. Here, hold on. I don't have it. Okay, hold on. Dana was actually one of the people that was named in this description here that you can see up here. Okay.
Ensemble and Kegmeister Beer Gut. Each stage is a static screen where you need to find a key to unlock the next area and a bell to free your fairy girlfriend. Then, on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. There's 50 or so levels to solve, and apparently a bunch of secrets and Easter eggs that I've never found. You only get 3 lives, and man, this game is pretty dang tough, requiring a lot of precise maneuvering and giving you limited time to figure out what each room needs to solve it. As it was released in 1993, a year before the NES was put out to pasture, Fire and Ice is a massive overhaul of its predecessor's look and feel. There's something about the late era NES titles where they all have this distinct graphical style and color palette. Like by this time, developers had all solved the Nintendo riddle, and the answer was bright pastels and goofy sprite animations. And hey, this game even got a story. An evil dude sends fire monsters to
It looks like Yeti or something in the background.
Cool Mint Island, and then the fresh taste inhabitants call on young Dana to use his ice magic to save them. So that makes this a prequel? Okay. And hey, they even shoved in an unauthorized cameo from the Arkista's Ring Girl. But wait, now the
I thought
whole
that
game
was
is
Zelda.
actually an old lady
I thought that
telling
was
her
Zelda.
grandkids about your adventures? Move over, Inception. Man, these kids are pumped. Nothing good on TV tonight, huh, kids? You start out on a very adorable world map with 9 locations to choose from and 10 levels within each to complete. Not only can you do any of these worlds in any order, but you can
I'll be honest, I look at this and it kind of reminds me of the Where's Waldo game because you just have so much stuff on the screen here, you know? Like, I'm halfway expecting, are you just supposed to start clicking on things, you know?
also do any of these sub-levels in any order, even going as far as to let you hop around stages here and there. Honestly, I can't think of any other NES game that gives you this level of choice, and it's pretty great to have so much freedom. The gameplay is similar to Solomon's Key in that your main involvement is creating and removing blocks, but in Fire and Ice, Dana hasn't yet learned to jump, so the puzzles are entirely gravity-based, forcing you to strategically drop ice from above and move downward without getting stuck. Another huge change here is that now you have infinite lives to try your little heart out, and if
Oh,
you
that's
make a
cool.
mistake or can't solve the level, pressing pause will give you the ability to attempt it again or move on to another location. The only challenge then are the puzzles themselves, which start out pretty easy and straightforward, but which ramp up in difficulty as new elements and enemies are introduced. At the end of each stage, you'll emerge from the mouth of this sex doll to battle a boss, which is really just completing a modified level that's a little larger and harder than what you faced earlier. I really appreciate the extra effort they took here to flesh out what is an extremely simple premise. The overworld makes everything seem more open and completable, the boss stages feature some neat sprites as well as some increased mental challenge, and the fireside chat makes the story seem more epic, like an 8-bit Princess Bride. That, plus the cutesy characters, bold colors, and catchy music make this game a solid package overall. However, despite all the added bells and whistles, Fire and Ice is very much still a simple puzzle game at its core, and like another sequel that utilized similar cutscenes and overworld maps, Adventures of Lolo 3, the novelty wears off real fast when you realize you still have to play the same kind of level 200 times. While it starts off pretty accessibly, if you're like me, by the 4th or 5th world, you'll be scratching your head for 20 to 30 minutes on one level trying to figure it out. Solving the puzzles is the only difficulty after all, but it's kind of a trap, as at least in Solomon's Key, once your lives expire, you kind of get an out to say, okay, that's enough for now. But since Fire and Ice gives you infinite tries to work your way through these stages, you also need an infinite amount of patience. Your will to continue on after a seemingly...
Do you think that they made this game have infinite lives? Do you think they did that because they knew it would drive, like, the higher levels would upset the gamers? So they're like, okay, well, nobody would probably make to, like, say, level 30 if they only had 3 lives. So we'll just toss in infinite lives as a way of basically saying, well, hey, the game's hard, but we give you guys infinite lives.
Never-ending assault of tricky levels will leave you brain dead and begging to play some shitty game like Kid Cool or Orb 3D just to reset your mind. I would, however, still recommend Fire and Ice if this is a style of gameplay you enjoy, but maybe devour it in small, more digestible bites. Quick shout out to one of my newest Patreon supporters, Ben Ward. Thanks so much for the support, buddy. If you like my channel and want to see more, I'm posting additional bonus videos over at patreon.com/bigowords, and I'm also streaming a new game every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Okay, so I don't want that. Okay, hold on.
Check this shit out. Here's a game that I've had a few requests
Go
for.
on.
Magician. Not to be confused with similar sounding titles like Wizardry 1 and 2,
Crap.
Light and Magic, or Magic of Scheherazade, and Lord oh Lord, I wish
Thank
it
you.
were
There
any
he goes. Okay, so here, let's actually get this out of full screen. There it goes. That was actually confusing me there. Okay, so let's do this. Hold on. Oh, it's this. Sorry. Okay, so we have a choice. We could do Fire and Ice, or let's see here. What other game is there? Let's see here. I think we're actually possibly having a real slight tremor. My computer's shaking. It's either a tremor or a train is moving by, or rolling by, I should say. Now, this is a game I really like. River City Ransom. I played this back, I think it was like early 90s or late 89. It's either 89 or 1990. I remember renting this one time when I stayed with my father. Hold on, there we go. Let's see here. River City Ransom NES release date. But I was staying with my father one summer. It was like 89 or 90. Well, 89. Okay, so I was staying with my father. It was either the summer of 89 or summer of 1990. I can't recall the exact year. And this was during the time, like I said, that he had visitation rights. And there was a store called Children's Company, and they actually had oh god, they had video game rentals, and I decided to rent this game. Well, I'm not sure what it was. That day that we rented the game, I ended up coming down with some. I'm not sure it was the flu or whatnot. Oh my god, I was sick that day after we rented the game, which sucks because of the fact you could only rent. And back then, you could only rent games like for say at the most was like 3 days max. And there was a friend of mine. His name was Seth. I invited him over after I felt better the next day, and we played this game, and we had fun. But the issue is, this is one of those type of games where the first and second player can actually hit each other. You can see where this is going to go. No matter how much we started off on working on as a team, we worked as a team. It always ended up degenerating into us just attacking each other. It was fun. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. But I don't think we ever really made it that far because, like I said, it always degenerated into chaos. Now, here, let me read this to you, ladies and gentlemen. River City Ransom takes place in River City, where our heroes Alex and Ryan find a letter on Ryan's locker from a guy named Slick. Slick. That name sounds familiar. Do they mean? Do they mean? Like, come on, where's the picture at? Do they mean this Slick? Yeah, he's a wrestling manager. I'm trying to be funny. Sue me. Sue me. Anyway, the letter says that Ryan's girlfriend Cindy has been kidnapped, and Slick has taken River City hostage with the help of countless gangs and evil bosses. It's up to our heroes to save poor Cindy, to free River City from the clutches of Slick and his underlings. You can play as Alex and take on the challenge alone, or battle as Alex and Ryan simultaneously as a friend. Kick and punch to fight your way through the gang members, evil bosses, and other goons, or use variety of weapons. Ranging. Hold on, let's see here. How do you? Oh crap! Hold on. How do you? How do you change the page? I'm afraid to press a button that it may start the game. How do you? I don't know how you select the different page. I press up. These two, nothing. These two, nothing. Oh, it's A. Okay. From a chain whip, brass knuckles, and a tire, to name a few. Raise your stats by eating right, to gain new techniques by reading books, your fighting prowess, and never-ending spirit. The bad guys won't know what hit them. If there was a couple things, I may get the names wrong, but I think like one of the things it gives, I think they're like called machine gun fist or something like that. But there were like power ups that could make you like punch real quick or kick real quick, you know. And if I remember correctly, couldn't you use the knocked out bodies of the enemies on the enemies, you know? Like, but yeah. Oh god, I just had so much fun playing this game with Seth. We There was a couple summers that I would go visit my dad. I would constantly rent this game. I honestly wonder whatever happened to Seth. I haven't heard from him in decades. Last time I saw him, God, I think it had to be like '94. It's been quite a long time. 94 to 2004. Yeah, it's been 35 or 31 years. I hope he's doing okay. But yeah, so that's another idea. That is another idea. Hold on, let's do this. Okay, so next up, so we could do either Fire and Ice, River City Ransom. We got Rygar. Ooh, before that, let's actually look at the. See if we can find a video for River City Ransom, just in case. And what the fuck is with that goddamn picture? That is fucking nightmare fuel. Oh my god. River City Ransom trailer. Is there actually a trailer for this? Underground, no. 3DS, no. Okay, well, we got a review. Let's take a look at this. This review is from SNES Drunk. Okay, hold on. Let me get this. Oh. Okay. This ought to be good.
That's drunk.
Back when the NES Classic was released, one of the biggest criticisms was, of course, about the game selection. One of the loudest complaints being, where the heck is River City Ransom? Alright, so why this game? What's the big deal? Well, let's start with a little history. This game is known as Street Gangs in PAL regions, and it was developed by Technos Japan, the same people behind the Double Dragon series, as part of the Kunio-kun
I did not know it was called Street Gangs in Power Rangers. I always just referred to it as River City Ransom.
series in Japan. It's the third game in the series, coming after Super Dodgeball and Neketsuko Kunio-kun.
Okay, so I thought there was more River City Ransom type games, but I already played Dodgeball. I love Dodgeball. I played this one. I don't know what the other one was they said, though. It's like Kuni-kun or something like that.
Known in North America as Renegade. Those games are decent enough, but River City Ransom stands alone in the NES library because it's the rare NES action game that attempts something resembling an open world, and it pulls it off successfully. Okay, obviously it's not truly open world, it's still pretty linear, but still, it's a little bit like taking Double Dragon and putting it in a sandbox where you can wander around freely, beat up enemies, and collect money so you can buy food and items to buff up your character. And that's part of what makes this game stand out so much, the RPG elements, where you save up the money you find defeating enemies to buy new fighting techniques, like stone hands or dragon feet.
Dragon feet, that's what it was.
Goofy personality this game exudes. I mean, just take one glance at some of the enemies you're beating up. Their faces are cartoonishly contorted like something out of a Tom and Jerry cartoon, and there's lots of different enemies you encounter throughout the game. I swear, one big reason this game hooked me is because I just wanted to see all the different expressions they came up with.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the infamous barf that's emitted once they're vanquished. As far as the combat goes, it's surprisingly advanced for an NES game and it holds up really well, and a big reason for that is how smart the enemy AI is. Enemies will block your attacks and force you to alternate between punches and kicks. I know that sounds simple, but for an NES beat 'em up, it's pretty nice because it makes you pay attention and use your head instead of just button mashing.
I like how there can be like ricochet when it comes to the attacks hitting your character and stuff, you know.
Love that there's a dash mechanic here. Just press forward or back twice, and that speeds the game way up, which is fun, and even better is that enemies can do this too, and they are aggressive as hell, sprinting at you from all directions and throwing all sorts of garbage they can get their hands on. It's a lot of fun. The thing is, though, River City Ransom doesn't have the best balancing. You'll move from one screen to the next, kicking ass left and right, and then you'll run into new enemies and they'll absolutely annihilate you. In other words, you gotta grind a bit to make sure your strength is up to par when you run into newer enemies. And I know some people hate that, but in this game, I didn't mind, just because the core gameplay is pretty satisfying.
I told you could use the body of your dead enemies!
Plus, the sound design is well done, and it certainly helps that the music is some of the most recognizable in any NES game ever. The game has you playing as high school students Alex and Ryan, which means that yes, this game is two-player co-op, another huge bonus this game has going for it. Ryan's girlfriend was kidnapped, and he and Alex have to cross the river and wander onto enemy turf to get her back, fighting notorious gangs such as the Frat Guys, the Jocks, and the Generic Dudes. Those names should give you an idea of what kind of tone this game is going for. It's all very silly, self-aware, and not to be taken too seriously. One flaw I need to point out about this one is that it saves via a password system, and these passwords are ugly. This is some Legend of the Mystical Ninja level stuff here. That makes it doubly frustrating that it wasn't included on the NES Classic because you could just forget about passwords and utilize save states instead. So yeah, if you want to play the original cartridge of this one, take a picture of the screen with your phone. Don't be a sucker like we were when we were kids, writing this crap down and then hoping you can read your own writing later. River City Ransom has since received remakes on PC Engine CD-ROM, Game Boy Advance, and re-releases on every Nintendo Virtual Console, including the Nintendo Switch Online service, so at least the game is available there, and if you haven't played this one, it's definitely worth checking out. It's easily a top 20 or maybe even a top 15 NES.
Oh god, he's not giving this game much credit. For the NES, I'd have to say it's top 5. Top 5. There's TMNT arcade, or the second TMNT game, for me at least. TMNT 2, the Manhattan Project, TMNT 3, River City Ransom, Dodgeball. See, what else is a good game that I really liked? I liked Rad Racer also. But yeah, to say top 15, wow. Top 5 easily. Top 5 easily.
Game. And hey, if you dig this, the Kunio-kun series has plenty of other games you can dive into, and there's even River City Ransom Underground, a modern take on the game that you can find on all sorts of different modern platforms. But sticking with just River City Ransom, it's great. It's fun seeing all the different gangs, studying their attack patterns, and adjusting your strategy, throwing trash cans around, leveling up Alex and Ryan with all sorts of new techniques. The dude even eats the plate when leveling up. I wonder if ingesting porcelain helps with stamina. And of course, it's a lot of fun to play with a second player. River City Ransom is easily one of the best NES games ever. And I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Okay, so that was another option. That was another option, ladies and gentlemen. The option of oh god. Hold on, let's switch back over to this. There. Oop. Option is River City Ransom. Here. Or I could just do something simple, you know, like maybe a game that just takes one day, you know, something that doesn't really have like a that doesn't really have like an ending to it, you know. No. I'm trying to. How do you get out of this again? Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see. Did they add anything new to the SNES? And keep in mind, what I'm watching right now, it doesn't mean that it will be the next game that I play. I'm just getting ideas. There's something new. Ooh, something new to play. Okay, let's try. We got Fatal Fury. New Horizons. Okay. Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Wall of Fire. Oh, that's cool. Lord of Darkness. Okay, what's up here? Nobunaga's Ambition. Okay, well, there's some new stuff here at least. It's nice to know that they're still updating stuff. People have been asking me, am I going to get the Switch 2? And the thing is, I literally just bought the Switch. I literally got this like the day before Christmas, if I remember correctly. It was a Christmas gift to myself. The thing is, if I get the Switch 2, it'd mainly be for one reason, and I don't find it being much of a reason. It is because they're going to have the GameCube emulator on the Switch 2. It's like, really? We can have this. Why can't we have the emulators on Switch 1 also, you know? And I know the answer is because they want more money, you know. They know people are going to want to play GameCube games emulated, you know. And I'm just not sure yet, to be honest. I'm not sure. If I do, I'm not going to buy it right away because of the fact that I always have a rule. I wait at least a year before the system, after the system has come out. That way they can make sure that the system has all the kinks worked out of it. Okay, see, is this, what game is this? Oh, this is that Kuniku no dodgeball. Okay. Pool. I love. I like the idea of pool, but I suck at playing pool. Rival turf. But yeah, I mean, like literally, you know, I appreciate them putting these games out, but sometimes there's just not a lot of games here, and then you're wanting to get more emulators, but you're spreading them among two systems now at that point, and I'm not a fan of that, especially when you know some of these emulators don't have a lot of games on them already. Let's go check the N64. Okay, so nothing new here. And the thing is, I like one of these days I will play Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time, or how you pronounce it. I'll play it again. I actually played. I didn't 100% it, but I played it when I was younger on the N64, and I think this is the game that I spent the most money renting this game. I swear, I think I could have bought this game like 3 times over out of all the times that I actually rented it. Oh god, now I'm really thinking about wanting to play Paper Mario. Nothing really. Like I said, this is what I'm kind of talking about. Like, we don't have that many games here, and yet we're going to get a new emulator, but it's going to be on a new system. Why don't you build up the library of what you already have before you start trying to get people to buy a new system because they want to get the new emulator? You know, like, no, I don't like that. Okay, let's try. Let's try Genesis. Out of all these systems, the Genesis is the one I have the least information of because I never had a Genesis when I was younger. I'm just curious how many like are well, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19, 24, 29. So, they have a few games here, but it's like it's not that much. It's a good thing that I kind of I bought up a whole bunch of retro games during this last winter, so I find nothing here. I got several retro games I bought on the Xbox Series X I could also play. I actually had this game. I actually liked the game. I just, granted, this game came out when they were still, we only still had like the red, blue, yellow, I think it was. I don't think I had anything after red, blue, and yellow on this game. I love this game, but I wish it had more. See, like this, there's not much even here. There's not even that much here. Why? Oh god, I dread to see how much is on here. 4 games. 4 games, and one of them I already played, which is Turok. I was about to say Tetris. I wonder what these are. There's several spots here that are empty. Okay. Got Wario Land 4. 3 Dungeon. Got Pokemon. What? No. Now, I heard that they don't really want Pokemon games on the Nintendo Online component because I think it's like a hacking issue or some sort of cheating issue. So I'm wondering why they have this game on it. Wish I hadn't understood what here. Densetsu no Starfight 1. If I remember correctly, wasn't Golden Sun a game that had a peripheral that you would hook it up to your Game Boy Advance and then you go out into the sun and it's like it seemed to like a solar collector or whatever. It actually helped the game, if I remember correctly. Fire Emblem, Mario Advance, Metroid Fusion, Yoshi Island. And that's it. Like, okay, I think for this upcoming playthrough, or the next Sunday morning retro, I think I made my choice. I want to go back to Super Nintendo real quick. I didn't notice. Did they have Donkey Kong Country? Wait a minute. Are these not in white? Been on white. Where's white? Customer title. You. Okay, they do. Okay, next week, start next Sunday morning retro. I'm gonna play Donkey Kong Country. I actually, when I got my when I got my SNES, it actually came with Donkey Kong Country. I think it was called like the Donkey Kong Country pack. Let's actually do a quick look, shall we? Free SNES bundle. Ah, here it is. Oh, let's see here. It was this, but I can't really see. Is there a picture? Better picture? I got 2 games for my SNES when it first came out, or when I got it for Christmas from my mom. Oh, it doesn't. Picture's not loading. Oh, there it is. I got this, and then I got Killer Instinct, which came with the CD. Yeah, I think I'll play Donkey Kong Country. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, next week I am gonna play some Donkey Kong Country for Sunday morning retro. Am I gonna play? Will I play the follow-ups 2 and 3? I'm not sure, to be honest. To me, like the first Donkey Kong Country was like the best, and then Donkey Kong Country 2, it was okay. And then we got to number 3, and I just was not a fan of number 3. If people like the number 3, hey, that's cool for them, but for me, it was not for me. It was not for me. But so next week, Donkey Kong Country Sunday morning retro. So I'm going to start getting everything gathered, the assets and everything, and I'll make sure not to delete them this time. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Let's see. I could just leave it at that. I hope you enjoy. Well, the end of this playthrough, I guess you could really say. I made it past level 9 of Tetris, and then for the last little bit of time, I went through some games and everything to decide what I'm going to play. I will see you next Sunday. So I hope you all stay safe. And until then, my name is Jeff, aka Gcurse. Wish you all a great day. Stay safe, everybody. Peace out.